been through this before as far as playing in the wild card game. What did you learn from that game with the Rockies that you won to try to the dynamics of trying to win a multi-game playoff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you don't. This is one game. It's different than any other game. As far as like, you just don't hold back on it. I guess you do everything you can to win. You throw everybody. Starters will be in the bullpen. You're not really saving anybody for anything. You're just doing everything you can to win this game, and then hopefully move on. That's the one thing I noticed that's a little different. I think the matchups will be a little bit different. Trying to match up with guys where, this year, there's a 3-batter rule and all that. I think in the Walker game, you're gonna see a little bit more matchups to make sure, everyone feels as uncomfortable as possible. But that's just kind of how it goes. It's kind of a crazy game, It's like I said, you don't save nobody for nothing. Everyone's gonna be in the pen, or everyone's got to be ready to go.
You compete against the Dodgers a lot in this division. What's the emotions for you, and do you have to control those?
Yeah. Well, this game kind of reminds me of 163 in 2018 coming here. Yeah, I mean, my emotions will be fine. Played the Dodgers a lot, lost a lot, and I think it's if you're gonna go through the team to get to where you want to go, the Dodgers are always gonna be in the way. That's just kind of how it goes. So we respect them. I have a lot of respect for that organization, how they go about it, and those players. But it's one game. We're gonna try to find a way to win and beat them.
Nolan, to that end, as somebody who grew up around here, somebody who grew up kind of in the shadow of Mount revering the stadium, is today maybe a day where you can kind of take in and enjoy a little bit of the playing a postseason game at Dodger Stadium before you maybe get down to business tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to have a day off. I guess come here, get a workout in, and get on the field. The air, the fresh air, and I don't know. I know when I land in California, I can tell by the air that I'm home. But especially coming here, obviously, I'm so used to having a lot of my family here for these games, and it's a lot of fun to play. And I expect tomorrow will be pretty intense, pretty good environment, so it'll be great.
What did you see from your team over the last week when things were pretty well locked down for you, when you guys were still staying dialed in, staying ready, and making sure that you were able to turn it right back on to where it was for tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, I think, we played meaningful baseball games all the way till the last week of the season, and that's always great. And, even though we clinched last Tuesday or whatever, all those other games, you still want to do something. You still want to play well, stay fresh. And, but, there's nothing like the playoffs, just to be honest, it don't matter how long you clinch. When you get to the playoffs, the environment's amazing, and it's an intense environment. So there's nothing that matches this. So you just got to try to slow it down. But I think we'll be ready to go. We'll be more than ready.
What have you seen from O'Neill and Peter this season, and how have you been able to serve as a mentor of sorts?
Yeah, well, those guys have just been great. I mean, just playing great baseball. I mean, they're just kind of developing. I mean, it's just been pretty cool to see, not just them two, DC also. It's pretty cool to see them, like, you could see the development from April to, September. You could really see how much better they've gotten as the months have gone on throughout the season. And that's just experience, and I just feel like they're only going to get better and better. And it's been a lot of fun to watch them compete and just, like I said, get better as the year has gone on. It's something that, I've noticed that they've just been able to, like, slow the game down, asking the right questions as the year has gone on. It's been pretty cool.
Hey, Nolan, you said the Dodgers are always going to kind of be there in the way. You guys split that series with them in St. Louis after losing the first two. How much did that kickstart the winning streak that came later? And do you feel like that was kind of a turning point for the team?
It was big, for sure. Obviously, getting grand slam walk-off against us in Milwaukee and then flying in the next day to face, Scherzer on a 3 o'clock day game. You're just like, this is not the greatest, scenarios. But just to come back and win those 2 games, win the series against the Reds, and then I don't even know how else it ended up. I forgot who we played. But just to continue to play well. We played hard, and that's the one thing I've been amazed with this team. It's just we keep coming. We do. We've lost some tough games this year, but we found a way to continue to compete and try to be there in the end. And there was no game that really rattled us, and that was something that I was in awe of, because after that walk-off grand slam, a lot of people probably wrote us off, like this is it, but we kept coming, and we went on a great streak, and now we're here.
Adam was in here, he detailed the differences in June during that rough stretch where the team often came to the park, and it felt like they felt that they were defeated already when something unideal happened, compared to September when you guys would come to the park and you would think, we're not losing ever again.
Yeah.
What kind of led to that mentality switch? Obviously the winning does help, but to build that up and kind of keep the course there, what leads to that change?
I think it's just, like I said, we continue to show up in the same guys every day, I think, losing tough games, that we've lost some tough games this year, like games you were like, man, this is really bad, and to see us come back every day, and that just shows who we are. And then I think that mentality of continue to show up every day, let's get after it, and whatever happens, happens. I think that's kind of carried us toward the end, where maybe some other teams got a little tired at the end, maybe lost a little focus because they clinched a little early, whatever, you know what I mean, or they felt the pressure. We kind of just stayed even keel, and we just continued to fight, and that's why we went on that streak.
Nolan, how have you seen, and maybe this dovetails with that, how have you seen the offense kind of grow through the course of this year? You guys, that first half kind of struggled, talked about that, how one-dimensional they are, and then Tyler goes into batting third, and just the number of different ways you guys have been successful over the past month.
Yeah, I think offensively, I mean, we feel in the first half we hit the ball hard. We played, obviously we had a rough month. We just played bad baseball, but like we still hit the ball hard. We lined out a lot, and we were just always kind of saying, we all said it right before the first half. We're like, man, it's got to turn sooner or later, right? Like, and it didn't turn until September. It really turned, and I think that's just the mentality we've had. Like, we believe it's going to turn. Just got to keep going, and I think it's just the maturity of the offense. I think putting Tia on the 3-hole, and then obviously Goldie, who's been, our leader. Here's my like little MVP chant for him, but like seriously, I mean, he really carried us to get to the playoffs. I mean, once Goldie got hot, I mean, we all just fed off him. I mean, he's been critical for us. So just those guys at the top of the order, and then Tommy played well, but like I said, the bottom of the order played well too. But I think Goldie's the one that really got it going for us.
Can that help in a one-game situation, just being able to score in different ways like you guys are showing?
Well, absolutely. I mean, for us to win one game, you got to be able to do everything. You got to be able to maybe hit a homer or work a rally. The Dodgers got good pitching, so you got to find a way to fight against them, and their offense is really good too. They feel the same way probably about them, where they can clip you or work on a bat. So I think their offense is really good, but we're pretty steady too, and we can play defense, and I really like our chances, and it's not going to be an easy task at all, but I feel confident in our group.
Mark, around the country, some fans, some media are like, oh, the Cardinals again, and there's even a phrase your buddy Holiday hates, it's called Cardinal Devil Magic, like it always kind of works out. I just wonder in Colorado, your sense, did other teams and other players ever look at the Cardinals and say, man, they always seem to end up there? Was there sort of a sense around the league too, like how does it always work out for them? Yeah,
absolutely. I think just being a part of it now, the rough stretches, you're kind of like, I don't know, man, this is not good. And then, like, I guess just the way Yachty, Waino, these guys carry themselves, they don't get too high or too low, and you just feed off that. You just kind of like, all right, they're staying steady, so that's what I'm going to do. And you just continue to follow their lead. And because they've been around a long time and they've seen some crazy streaks, and I think that's just the difference between good teams and bad teams is that, how steady can you stay throughout a 8-month season, and the Cardinals have always done that. They always find themselves in it at the end because of how we, stay steady and continue to fight.
Well, and Adam and Matt Carpenter both said this is the best Cardinal defense they feel like they've ever been on. How does this defense just stack up in your eyes, and how important is that in one game where there's really no margin for error, especially against someone like Scherzer, where one run, 2 runs, and between Scherzer and Adam, or 1 run really decide that game?
Absolutely. I mean, I agree. I think this is the best defense I've ever played on. Defensive team I played on, as far as the outfielders and first baseman, obviously the greatest catcher ever, and then just our infield has just been so solid. There's no doubt that our defense is, I think, the best in the game, and I think that's going to help us in a game like this where we got to be able to cover ground and make some plays because, I would assume the Dodgers, hopefully not, but I would assume they're going to have good at bats. They're going to find, they're going to hit the ball hard, and we got to find a way to stop them and make some plays.
Adam was just in here saying he still feels like a pretty young fellow despite his age. Do you catch him acting his age very often?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I don't look at him. I mean, I look at him like as a dad in a sense. I think everyone does. He's like the Godfather. Same thing with Yachty. That's basically what we call them, the Godfathers of our team. But the interactions you have with him, he acts. It's just like a normal, young player. I think he's trying to make trades right now in fantasy. Like he's just like that. So he's just down to earth, laid back, and he'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Every managerial move is going to get, hyper focused on this game based off of, who gets pulled and who pitches. What have you learned about Mike Schilt with this season of playing underneath him, and how prepared or how trustful are you with the calls he's going to make in this game?
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously I trust Skip. I know he's going to make the right decisions and what he feels is the best decision for our team. But obviously I got a lot of respect for him, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really pay attention. I'm trying to just focus on my job and doing my job. What the manager controls, that's a hard job, so I'll let him focus on that. But I believe he'll make the right decisions.
I guess that's more phrase poorly there. What have you learned about Schilt playing for him for a year? You didn't know him well before you joined the team.
For him and the rest of the coaching staff, I think it's just more steady. Like I said, I know I keep saying that word, but it's really plays dividends to who we are. It's just how calm everyone is. Nobody gets too high or too low through good times or through bad times, and that's something that I think we all feed off of. And it's not just him, it's the whole coaching staff. They bring that same energy every day. It's been a lot of fun for playing with those guys, playing for them.
Any last questions for Nolan? Thank you very much, Nolan.
I thank you guys.